What's up, guys? Sawtooth Dave here. Will be another little ramble video, progress, whatever you want to call it. So while we're on the sawtooths, let's talk about it. Got this guy this week. He's the G10 model. It had lock rock when I got it. It was kind of like, I don't know, darkened tie and rust was all on the blade and stuff like that. Let's see if I can get close enough. It's got blasted blade now. You can still see a little bit. I don't know, it's hard to see in certain lights, but it's just pitting because of the rust that was in there. You go, kind of see it right there. All right in that area. A little rust pitted in that area. It's not, it wasn't horrible, but I think what I'll probably end up doing is trying to acid stone wash this one and kind of blend it in a little bit more. But the tie scale came back just fine. Lockup's gone, no lock rock anymore. It's solid. It's a good sawtooth. There's the last one I did. Well, I'm working on anyhow. Did develop a little bit of lock stick, but you know, that's how shit works sometimes, right? It'll break in, I'm sure. This one I showed a little bit on the Instagram. If you guys follow me on Instagram. So this one's the one that had the hole in it. The hole was so screwed up, it wasn't straight. It was basically angled. And let's see if I can show it right here. You see, watch that bottom of that, where that thumb stud is. Watch it. See right here, it would have hit. See how it would have hit? Both sides. It would have hit. So I couldn't really do anything a half inch. I had to make it a step, or at least turn down a little bit. So if I figure I'm gonna turn it down, I might as well make it a couple steps. Put a little style into it. And that's pretty much what I did. I got done doing that. Put it back together with just a black blade. And I don't know, just didn't work for me, man. So I went ahead and just sanded the flats here. And I got done in that. I kind of liked how this stress looked, so I kind of took, this is with 120. I just stayed there at 120. And this is, I went to 400 and just kind of smoothed this black over a little bit, but I left this top swedge and the backbone, that solid DLC. So it definitely has a unique kind of worn look to the whole thing. And I was kind of trying to match the whole knife. I didn't do anything to this. This is already, everything on this wear, tear, and everything else was already like this. This was believed to be owned by a military member at one point, so it has been around a while. I believe most of this custom work was done by Fanatic Edge, if I'm not mistaken. But that's what I was told. But I don't know firsthand. It's only secondhand knowledge, so there's that one. I think it came out pretty good. I'm still debating on stonewashing this blade. I asked everybody on Instagram, and I got kind of a mixed bag. Some people said stonewash it if I'm using it. Some people said leave it as is. You can kind of see up in here, see these lines right here? That's actually the grind lines from them machining the blade. You can kind of see it on both sides. It's just not, they didn't finish it super well, like compared to that modern knives. Like finishing wasn't done when these things were made anyhow, wasn't done I guess to a refined level. I don't know how old this one is, because I don't know if you can see it or not, but this is in 20 CV, so it's definitely a newer version of the sawtooths. If you didn't know, all the S30s are old, all the 20 CVs are newer ones. So personally, I like the S30s better than the 20 CVs. These seems to be a little bit more chippy to me. The S30, you can pretty much pound the ground with them and any shit gonna happen to them. They're built like a shit brick house. And just because I ain't showed it for a minute, let's go ahead and show off the shark too. It's got a rounded nose. When I basically with this one, if y'all ain't heard a story, which I'm probably, I don't know if I've told it or not, but who gives a shit? Let's go for it anyhow. Back in the day, I traded SMF for this. This did not have this scale on it. It had a G10 scale on it, but the nose was already broken off and the shark was already lasered on there. So still have no clue who did the shark, but I just, you know, went ahead and it was kind of a weird look. So I just kind of rounded it off a little bit and just kind of looked at it for a minute. I was like, man, I should put that warthog, you know, emblem back on there. If y'all didn't know, I'm out of Tucson, which is where most of the warthogs are stationed in Davis-Monthan Air Base, which is just across town from where I'm at. So anyway, it was kind of like one of those cool little things to, I don't know, do, customize. This is like, this scale came off another, obviously at the time you couldn't get but one thing. You could get full tie stonewash or DLC and the G10 models, which was, well, actually carbon fiber, black G10, green G10. I think those are the only options. So anyway, I pulled this off of a different G10, or pulled this off of a full tie DLC and put the G10 scale on it. kind of worked out because it was a black G10 scale, and my buddy liked it. And I ended up getting it back from him, and now my other buddy's got it. So it's kind of cool, small world. And I've been doing a lot of wheeling and dealing in the sawtooth. So anybody watches this that is into the sawtooths and wants to check them out, wheeling and dealing, that sort of thing, I guess I'm sort of the guy now. People contact me, I don't even really know, offer me deals on sawtooths and ask where they can buy a sawtooth. So I guess that's cool. Like, you know, I never aimed to be that, but if that's what it ends up being, and y'all are cool with dealing with my dumbass, and let's do it. I can do it. I'm gonna plan on doing full tie scales, mainly for this guy. So I had a couple people on Instagram ask me about it because they know I make scales and that sort of shit. So they asked me about making scales for them, and I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I got the program about 98% of the way done, and then I just got to get the materials, which is just a matter of time. I'm gonna make tie scales. So if somebody out there wants tie scales for the sawtooth, let me know. I told y'all I was gonna be a rambling motherfucker, didn't I? All right, so I ain't really caught up with y'all in a while, so we're gonna start with the one that I have showed on this channel, and then my buddy Jake had it for a while. I wasn't really sure if I was gonna keep this knife or not. I think the first video I made with it, I was kind of like, maybe, I don't know. Like I didn't really see a role for it and that sort of thing. But I've kind of sort of, I guess I use this more of a left pocket, even though it's full size, very capable knife. That's the Spartan Harsey folder, and I only had it for basically a week, and then I kind of shipped it off to Jake, let him hang on to it for a little while, play with it. He was kind of interested in them, and quite honestly, I was uninterested at the time, so it kind of worked out good for me. And I think you guys already know. We'll get into that in a second, but I got a 40 knife limit myself, and I was way over the limit, so I kind of like, you know, moved some away so they weren't get noticed. It kind of happens. But anyway, Spartan Harsey, not to tell too much of my bullshit, this Spartan Harsey has kind of worked into a pretty damn solid knife, man. It took a hell of a lot more break-in than I'd think most of the knives like it did or would. Even Medford's break in quicker than this thing does. To tell you something, I think it has a lot to do with the black coating on the blade. I think if you got a stonewash version, it'd probably smooth out real quick. This thing is butter, though. I mean, it's nice now, man. Still complaining about the lock bar access. Not super great if you use the 2 fingers and get in there and claw it open, as Medford would say. I think it works fine. It's just not the most access to it. As far as the knife goes, functionally, using it, I dig it, man. It's S45. This is the first knife I've had in S45. I'm digging it so far. Yeah. It's got a good grind. Good enough for me, anyhow. For a guy who carries a sawtooth or another big bruiser like that, it's kind of a thin-ish blade, which is kind of sounds retarded, but it's thinner than a Hinder to me. I don't know. I think it's like 160, so 15, 20 thou thinner than a Hinder. So I dig it, man. It's kind of working out pretty good for me. While we're talking about that, I don't know that I ever showed this one on there, but if I haven't, I got this one from Jake. This is the black, it's all black, XM18. And this one was on washers when he sent it to me. And actually, because of that Spartan Harsey, I took the washers out, and it's on phosphor bronze now. You see it won't drop shut? See, to me, I know I'm an old bastard, but I like that much better. Much better. The whole drop shutty thing, action thing, I mean, it's fun if you're all just sitting around playing with it, not really wanting to use it. Not that you can't, not saying that. I'm just saying for me personally, I don't know. Just phosphor bronze has always kind of felt better and tried and true for me. I don't know. Guess back to the roots. Anyway, really enjoying the Hinders. Really enjoying the Hinders. So I don't know if I've told them the thing or not, but I've got the wife a couple in the past. I think she showed it in her videos. But got new hardware for both of those. So the blue one has blue hardware in it now. I know, sacrilegious to most Hinder people, but it ain't Hinder hardware. But you know, that shit's about damn impossible to get and expensive as hell when you do find it. But so she got the blue in it. It kind of looks weird in this video. Almost looks like the scales are green versus a blue, but in person, that shit all flows real well. It's just kind of the video's quality sucks. Hey, imagine that. You clicked on a Sawtooth Day video and the video sucks. Hey, that's kind of what you get, man. And the Eclipse got brass hardware. Now, this is the authorized shit. I thought it kind of weird that the non-authorized had the whole pivot, and this non-authorized didn't put this part in it, but had the butt. And same with the screws, but it did have the lock bar stabilizer and a filler tab and all that other stuff. Back spacers or whatever the fuck you call those things. It kind of looks cool. Dig it. It needs a little patina, man, but you know, it'll come over time. We earn that shit, right? Yep. All right. Cool. These are both hot rods. What else? Oh, recent acquisitions while we're just bullshitting about fucking phosphor bronze. I got a 050 carbon fiber, the Sprint, whatever the fuck they call it, 850 Sprint. Love this freaking knife. Like I got the blue one, right? But this one here, I don't know, man. Like the all black, that's always what I've been more attracted to. This one here just feels fucking good, man. The washers, phosphor bronze washers. From what I know, I think it's probably one of the last ZTs that came with phosphor bronze. So ZT, get your shit together and make some more phosphor bronze shit, man. I'll definitely buy it. So will all the other old motherfuckers like me. Hard users, whatever the fuck you want to call us. I don't know that I'm a hard user, but what the fuck ever. Another one I got from a buddy, Brandon, is the Mordax. I wasn't really sure what to make of this one. So you guys that watch this for a minute know that I won that knife rights and that Archbishop 3.0 was in there. Man, you know I had to gift it. I have to gift it. Chinese knives just can't stay in the collection. But I love the fair and forged design. So my buddy Alex got that one. You can, I get to play with it every now and then at work because I work with a guy. And so I get to play with it every now and then. But man, the style of that knife was just something cool. So I was like, I need to find an American version that I can just at least get the fair and forged out of me. You know, like, so this is a Mordax, ProTech made, American made, little button lock. It's kind of weird because all the other button locks I had, the button protrudes a little bit. This one is almost recessed. It's like it's up in there, man. You gotta really get your thumb over there and hit that sucker to get it go. I mean, action is pretty cool. It's not, I ain't gonna say it's the best, but man, every time I get it, I wanna, where's that lock bar? There's a lock bar. I'm always looking for that freaking lock bar. I dig it though. For machine wise, like good machining. I think I heard Brandon say that some people don't like the milling. I freaking love it, man. And just for a second, I'm not gonna try to make this a negative thing, but just for a second, I realized when I got this one, because I think Brandon described it as a full-size knife, which I guess for most people, this is a full-size knife. This is this small knife as I really like. Like, honestly, I got a couple pre-orders came in. I think you guys could probably do the 2+2, but a couple pre-orders came in, and they were so small. They just left before I even really considered them. Like, it just ain't work for me, man. It just ain't gonna work. And I get into the small knife stuff every once in a while, but I'm not shelling out that kind of coin for a little small knife just to be hanging around. I think the one exception to that in my collection right now, which ain't really in mine, it's more in Hot Rod's collection, is the Sumo. Because as soon as I got that, I was like, way too small. She's like, I like it. Here's yours. There you go. I did get a couple more. I guess I go into this. I'm sorry, y'all. I know I'm all over the fucking place. It's just how my brain works sometimes. But I had some snipers in the past. I had the DMF and the LPC, and they were both straight up customs from Sniper. I seen these on the 3-minute knife review. This is I think the Battle Box DMF. This is nothing like the old DMFs. I mean, absolute nothing. This is a hot pile of fucking garbage compared to the old one. Anyway, the other one was 250 stock. I think this is like around 150,000 stock. Man, I wish I could say something good. I don't know that these are or not made in America. I just had the strong feeling from the quality of it. It's probably Chinese made. Not saying that's not. I'm not downgrading the Chinese by saying that. I'm just saying I've had the original DMF. His machining wasn't that fucking good. Like I thought so then. I thought, well, I mean, it's a cool knife, but like it's pretty on the crude side. Like, I mean, I ain't saying it was like hacked together, nothing, but compared to this is way more refined of a machine knife, right? But the feel is nothing like those old ones. The old ones just felt like someone that knew what they were doing tuned the knife. This one just feels like a hot pile of fucking turd. Like, I don't know, it's just not good. The other one I got was an LPC. It feels way better in hand. It's a signature series or something like that. It's a limited number. This one's an S35. The other one was an S30. It came, when the dude warned me to, I got both of these way cheaper than, I kind of knew something was up. I knew they wasn't going to be like the old ones I had because I only paid a little bit for them compared to what the old ones cost, a fraction. And that's been 8-10 years ago when I had the other ones. But anyway, the other one, it looked like someone didn't have a fucking clue what they're doing, trying to sharpen it with like an angle grinder or something. I was like, holy fuck. I mean, the bevel was going to be like a fucking 1/4 inch to get it look like someone that knew what they're doing, try to sharpen it. Like, this is pretty fucking rough, man. So both those are fucking crash and burns. So I told you we'll have a problem with numbers and collections and that sort of thing. Yep, these won't be around long. Anybody want to try this hot pile of shit out, you let me know. Same with the other one. I got to put an edge on it because I ain't gonna even move it with this shitty as edge it has on it. I might even play acid stone washing that before I do the sawtooth, so at least if I fuck something up, I don't give a fuck about it. That one's on phosphor bronze. The other one's on washers. I mean, bearings, which the old ones weren't on bearings. I mean, the action's good on it. I can't say it ain't, but it doesn't feel like an OPC or DMF that I'm familiar with. Put it that way, okay? But I think both of those are pretty much here today, gone tomorrow kind of things. They ain't sticking around. So we got a couple other, I guess, ideas for projects or possible something or other. I heard on Stas's video, he said the same thing. He said basically he had a DPX test, and he said the titanium was so soft that it just wouldn't, it ain't gonna lock up, keeps having lock rock. Well, that's the same problem I'm having this one. This is a little older one. This is in Nylox. So it's not the D2 one, it's Nylox. But man, like it doesn't have it right now because I basically forced this thing over there so it wouldn't, but you can probably hear, yeah, see it's sticking already. So it's just shit. So I thought about, and I don't know, I'm not sure if I'm going to do it or not, but I thought about making a lock bar insert, excuse me, just to basically test my skills to make sure, to see if I could do it, basically. That's kind of the only reason. But I do kind of like the knife. I think I've alluded to it in other videos that I kind of really did like this knife. This big old chunky motherfucker. I mean, we're talking about little knives. This is what I'll consider a little knife. This motherfucker is probably like, I don't know, 3 1/8 or something blade, but it's just got that, well, my wife hates the blade to handle ratio because the handles are bigger than the blade, but this is just big enough. Just big enough. Like my fingers are squished together and it's just big enough to hold my mitt. Big enough. Just big. All right, so anyway, fixed or not fixed, this one's probably going to be on its way out because the 40 number is getting pushed. So got to make room for new shit or there won't be no new shit. So out with the old in with the new, as they say. All right, so I guess the reason I'm saying this is if any of you guys watch this video, which ain't very many of y'all watch it, but if any of y'all watch it and go like, you know, I'd like to check that out, holler at me, man. We make it happen, and I'll definitely hook it up. Another one that actually Hot Rod brought it out when we were working out. Like we tend to do a thing where I bring out a bunch of knives, lay them across this desk we work at home. We got a whole power rack and everything in the living room. That's our living room's weights, not furniture. So I laid a bunch of knives out on this table, and basically as we're working out, I pick them up, play with them, and put them back down. It's kind of like my in-between sets routine, I guess you would say. So anyway, I picked up 3. I can't remember what 3 I picked up this morning, and she picked up 3 or whatever, and then she came out and says, this one needs to go. I guess she went in there and was playing with it or something like that. This is a stitch. This one came from Cuddy Cuts, Mike, on Instagram. And when he had it all Cerakoted, and Cerakote just didn't prep it good enough to make it stick. But you can kind of see it in certain light. It says Microtech and all that other shit, but you got to be in just the right light. And my eyes ain't good enough to really read it anymore, but I think I caught it once or twice in the right light. And I had to resharpen it because it was horrible sharpened. And I had to bring the swedge on the top down a little bit, so it's a pretty cute tip. Not the best sharpening job. I could probably do something better than that, but it still cuts pretty good actually. But so the hardware is still Cerakoted, and this is just Cerakoted with the top rub there. I think I ended up blasting the clip again because it was so bad off. This thing has a little bit of that Microtech little up and down play, but they're not all but locked up the solidest everybody would think they would be. I did think about it. I did think about making this a little bit bigger diameter to see if the lockup would help. But I don't know, man. I don't mess with the button locks all that much, and so I kind of got to thinking about it because the button lock basically, as it goes in there, it's on a taper and it goes into that hole on a taper. If you make the blade stop a little bit further, it's just going to be off the taper. So I don't know if that's going to wear one side of that plunger in there. You see what I mean? Like, let's see if I can hit the button to make sure. So see how that's engaging the blade right there? Like, is it going to wear one side of it different or weird? I don't know. So I'm assuming that part's hardened. I would think it would be. I don't know. Maybe you guys know more than I do about that, but I would think that would be hardened. The stop pin, I could make out of 17.4 relatively easy. So I thought about trying it and try to get some of that lock rock out of it. But I fixed some other knives that way before, and it seemed to work pretty good. But anyway, that one's on the chopping block too. Any y'all happen to be interested. I ain't trying to make this a salesman thing. I'm just throwing some shit out there, right? Don't have very many Benchmays, but this is one of the original D2 Adamuses or Adamuses, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Big old chunky motherfucker. This is super thick behind the grind. You can see that grind is horrible. See how wide that shit is? That's like that LPC I was talking about, that sniper. But it's gonna be way worse than this one is. But anyway, you had to take some of that fatness out of it to even be able to put an edge on it. It was just axe before, so it really needs to be reground. But it's a cool knife. I mean, just not making the cut for me anymore. And the last one not making the cut that I know of anyhow, SIG 320. Not that it's not a bad knife. I mean, not that it's not a good knife, because it is a cool knife. Blade's super sick on it. I like it. Just not ever carried, but once in a blue moon. And I guess too that after I got the Knife Rights knife, that Ritter Hogue, I'm not really interested in this one. I wouldn't carry this one over that one, and they're basically the same size, which is almost too small. Just barely big enough to be what I consider a small knife. I know, we all different. Fuck it. Let's see. I think I got you all cut up now. I know a lot of little bullshit going on, and I basically just wanted to show some of the projects and talk to you guys because I ain't been on here for a good minute. I guess we're going to call it there. All right. Y'all be good. See you next time.